Question number 1. Which of the following processes is primarily responsible for the formation of coastal landforms? Erosion, deposition, weathering, both A and B. Both A and B will be the right answer, means erosion and deposition. Question number 2. Which coastal feature is formed by the deposition of sediment at the mouth of a river? Lagoon, split, delta, tombolo. Here the right answer will be delta. Question 3. What is a tombolo? A narrow stretch of sand connecting an island to the mainland, a sand dune formed by wind, a beach backed by cliffs, a wave-cut platform. And the right answer will be a narrow stretch of sand connecting an island to the mainland. Question number 4. What causes longshore drift along a coast? Wind blowing perpendicular to the coast, waves hitting the coast at an angle, tides rising and falling, ocean currents moving parallel to the coast. Here the right answer will be waves hitting the coast at an angle. Question number 5. Which of the following landforms is created by coastal erosion? Lagoon, cliff, sandbar, beach. Here the right answer will be cliff. Question number 6. The term estuary refers to a coastal inlet where seawater and fresh water mix, a narrow sand bank that extends into the sea, a raised beach formed by wave action, an underwater trench caused by tectonic activity. Here the right answer will be a coastal inlet where seawater and fresh water mix. Question number 7. Which of the following coastal management strategies is an example of soft engineering? Seawalls, groinage, beach nourishment, riprap. Here the correct answer will be beach nourishment. Question number 8. Which of these is not a feature of high energy coast? Cliffs, wave cut platforms, speeds, sea caves. Here the right answer will be speeds. Others landforms are high energy coast, means eroded coast landforms. Question number 9. What is a barrier island? A narrow sand island parallel to the coastline separated by a lagoon, a rocky outcrop extending into the sea, a sand dune located behind a beach, a section of a coral reef. Here the right answer will be a narrow sand island parallel to the coastline separated by a lagoon. Question number 10. The movement of sand and other materials along the coast by wave action is called deposition, erosion, longshore drift, subduction. Here the right answer will be longshore drift because it is along the coast. Question number 11. Which of the following is a feature of a depositional coast? Wave-cut platform, sea stack, sandbar, headland. Here the right answer will be sandbar. Question 12. Which of the following factors most influences the shape of a coastline? The temperature of ocean water, the strength and direction of winds, the composition of coastal rocks, the rotation of the earth. Here the right answer will be the composition of coastal rocks. Question 13. A coastal landform that forms when wave erode through a headland is called sea arch, sea stack, tombolo, beach. Here the right answer will be sea arch. Question 14. Which of the following best describes a lagoon? A steep coastal cliff formed by wave erosion, a shallow body of water separated from the ocean by a barrier, a raised ridge of sand formed by wave action, an underwater coral reef. Here the right answer will be a shallow body of water separated from the ocean by a barrier. It's called a lagoon. Question 15. What is the primary cause of tidal movement along coasts? Wind patterns, seismic activity, gravitational pull of the moon and sun, and ocean currents. Here the right answer will be gravitational pull of sun and moon. Question 16. A spit is formed by longshore drift depositing sediment along a coast, wave cutting through headlands, river action depositing sediment at a river mouth, erosion of soft rock along the coast. Here the correct answer will be longshore drift depositing sediment along a coast. What is the term for the steep drop off where that the continental shelf meets the deeper ocean. Here the right options are continental ridge, continental slope, abyssal plain, ocean trench. And the right answer will be continental slope. Question 18. Which of the following features is typically found at a constructive coastline? High cliffs, long beach, wave-cut notches, rocky headlands. The correct answer will be long beach, where the deposition process is most prominent. Question 19. The process by which coastal areas sink due to natural forces is known as uplift, estuary, submergence, isostasis. Here the right answer will be submergence. Question 20. Coral reefs are most likely to be found in cold, nutrient-rich water, warm, shallow water, deep ocean basins areas of high tidal ranges. Here the correct answer will be warm, about 27 degrees centigrade, and shallow waters. Question 21. Which of the following is a result of wave refraction along a coastline? Waves become concentrated to headlands, or waves lose energy in beach. Sediment is deposited evenly along the shore, both A and B. Here the correct answer will be both A and B. Wave becomes concentrated to headlands, waves lose energy in beach. Question 22. What is a wave cut platform? A flat eroded surface created by wave action, a mound of sand deposited by waves, a submerged ridge of sand near the shore, a steep cliff formed by ocean currents. Yeah, the correct answer will be a flat eroded surface created by wave action. Question 23. Which of the following best describes reef currents? Strong tidal currents moving parallel to the shore, narrow, fast-moving water flowing directly away from the shore, ocean currents caused by underwater volcanic activity, circular currents created by longshore drift. Here the correct answer will be narrow, fast-moving water flowing directly away from the shore. This is a very dangerous reef current. Question 24. What type of coastal feature is a fjord? Fjord and fjord are different. A coastal inlet formed by the submergence of a glaciated valley, a narrow spit of land extending into the sea, a coral reef formed near the shore, a lagoon separated by a sandbar. Here the correct answer will be coastal inlet formed by the submergence of a glaciated valley. Question 25. A barrier reef is best described as a reef that lies close to the shore and is separated from the mainland by a lagoon. A reef that forms along the shoreline, a reef formed in the middle of the deep ocean, a ridge of sand formed by wave action. Here the correct answer will be a reef that lies close to the shore and is separated from the mainland by a lagoon. Question 26. Which of the following is a human intervention designed to prevent coastal erosion? Headland formation, beach nourishment, estuary creation, and coral reef development. Here the answer will be the beach nourishment. Question 27. Which of the following factors affect the height and power of ocean waves? The length of time the wind has blown, the distance the wind has traveled over water, the strength of the wind, all of the above. Here the correct answer will be all of the above, means the length of time that wind has blown, the distance the wind has traveled over water, which is called as phase, and the strength of the wind. Question 28. What is the main cause of eustatic sea level rise? Changes in the volume of ocean water due to melting ice caps, the sinking of land masses, movement of tectonic plates, increased wave action due to stronger winds. Here the right answer will be changes in volume of ocean water due to melting ice caps. Question 29. What is a baymouth bar? A ridge of sediment that closes off the entrance to a bay, a deep underwater trench near the coast, a sandy beach formed by wave action, a steep rocky headland extending into the sea. The correct answer will be a ridge of sediment that closes off the entrance to a bay. Question number 30. Which of the following is commonly found along tropical coast and serves as a buffer against coastal erosion? Mangroves, coral reefs, sand dunes, salt marshes. Here the correct answer will be mangroves. Question 31. Which of the following processes is responsible for creating a sea stack? Deposition of sediment, erosion of headlands, tectonic uplift, longshore drift. Here the correct answer will be erosion of headlands. Question 32. A barrier which is formed by the accumulation of sand and sediment parallel to the shore, waves cutting through a headland, coral reef development near the shore, a rise in sea level causing coastal flooding. Here the correct answer will be the accumulation of sand and sediment parallel to the shore. Question 33. Which of the following coastal landforms is formed by wave action eroding the base of a cliff? Beach, wave cut, notch, tombolo, spit. Here the correct answer will be wave cut, notch. Question 34. Salt marshes are typically found in which type of coastal environment? High energy, rocky coasts, low energy, sheltered coast, steep cliffed coast, tropical coast with coral reefs. Here the correct answer will be low energy, sheltered coasts. Question 35. The process by which sand dunes are formed is called saltation, deposition, deflection, attrition. The process by which sand dunes are formed is called saltation. Question 36. Which type of tide occurs when this will be deposition. The correct answer will be deposition, not saltation. Question 36. Which type of tide occurs when sun, moon and earth are aligned, resulting in higher high tides and lower low tides? Neap tide, spring tide, king tide, equatorial tide. The correct answer will be spring tide. There is no tide called king tide. Question 37. What is a barrier spit? You know, barrier reef, barrier beach, barrier spit. Option 1. A long narrow stretch of land projecting into the sea and connected to the mainland at one end. A narrow ridge of coral near the shoreline. A cliff formed by wave action. A submerged sandbank formed offshore. The correct answer will be a long narrow stretch of land projecting into the sea and connected to the mainland at one end. Fetch refers to the maximum distance over water that wind can blow, the depth of ocean at a particular point, the angle at which waves approach the coast, the height of tides during a spring tide. The correct answer will be the maximum distance over water that wind can blow. Question 39. Which of the following is a natural coastal feature that helps protect shorelines from wave action? Seawalls, groinage, coral reefs, riprap. And the correct answer is coral reefs. Question 40. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a constructive wave? Low wave height, strong swash, strong backwash, long wavelength. Strong backwash means more erosion, so it will not be constructive wave. Question 41. The removal of fine sediment from a beach by wind is called abrasion, saltation, depletion, attrition. Here the correct answer will be depletion. Question 42. Which of the following features is formed by the deposition of sediment at the mouth of a river entering a still body of water like a sea? Spit, delta, lagoon, headland. Here the correct answer will be delta. Question 43. What causes isostatic sea level changes? Melting of polar ice caps, movement of tectonic plate, rising or sinking of land masses, variations in ocean currents. So the correct answer will be rising or sinking of land masses. Question 44. The formation of a wave-cut platform occurs when waves break and deposit sediment on a beach. Waves erode a cliff face, creating a flat area. Waves or ocean currents deposit sand offshore. Longshore drift accumulates sediment along the shore. Here the correct answer will be waves erode a cliff face, creating a flat area. Question 45. Which of the following is a man-made coastal defense designed to trap sand moving along the shore by longshore drift? Groinage, seawalls, revetments, breakwaters. So the correct answer will be groinage. 46. A ria is formed by submergence of a river valley due to rising sea levels, the deposition of sediment in a coastal lagoon, the erosion of a headland into sea arches, the accumulation of coral reefs near the shore. Here the correct answer will be submergence of a river valley due to rising sea levels. Question 47. Which coastal process is responsible for the formation of beach casts? Swash and backwash interaction, longshore drift, erosion by tidal currents, wind deflation. Here the correct answer will be swash and backwash interaction. Question 48. What is the main factor that influences the development of coral reefs? High levels of nutrients in the water, warm, shallow and clear water, low salinity levels, presence of underwater volcanic activity. And the correct answer will be warm, shallow and clear water. Question 49. The term subaerial processes refers to weathering and mass movement on coastal landforms above sea level, erosion and deposition processes caused by waves below sea level, volcanic activity shaping coastal regions, sediment transport by wind across coastal dunes. And the correct answer will be weathering and mass movement on coastal landforms above sea level. Question 50. What is hard engineering in coastal management? The use of natural systems like marshes to manage the coast, the construction of man-made structures to control the sea, planting vegetation to stabilize sand dunes, allowing natural processes to occur without intervention. Here the correct answer will be construction of man-made structure to control the sea. First question means 51st question. Which of the following is a depositional feature commonly found in coastal areas? Cliff, sea arch, spit, wave cut platform. Here the correct answer will be spit. Question 52. Which coastal landforms is created when the roof of a sea arch collapses? Tombolo, lagoon, sea stack, spit. Here the correct answer will be sea stack. One of the erosional landform of coastal area. Question 53. What type of wave has a strong swash and a weak backwash, often contributing to beach build-up? Destructive wave, constructive wave, tidal wave, tsunami. The right answer will be constructive wave. Means it is deposited. It is making deposition in the coastal area. So it is constructive. If erosion, then it will be destructive. Question 54. Which of the following is an example of hard engineering in coastal defense? Beach nourishment, sea walls, mangrove planting, managed retreat. Here the correct answer will be sea walls. Other three options are soft engineering by biological process. Question 55. What is the primary function of groinage in coastal management? To reduce the speed of waves, to trap sediment and to reduce longshore drift, to prevent erosion by absorbing wave energy, to create artificial beaches. Here the correct answer will be to trap sediment and reduce longshore drift. Question 56. What is a tombolo? A raised beach formed by wave action, a spit that connects the mainland to an island, a ridge of sand separating a lagoon from the sea, a rock formation created by longshore drift. Here the correct answer will be a spit that connects the mainland to an island. This is a depositional landform of coastal area. Question 57. In coastal geography, what is the term for shallow, flat area extending from the shore before the seabed drops steeply? Continental shelf, abyssal plain, continental slope, oceanic trench. Here the correct answer will be continental shelf. Question 58. Which of the following best describes longshore drift? The movement of sediment along the beach by wave approaching at an angle, the backward movement of waves perpendicular to the shore, the rise and fall of tides along the coast, the erosion of the coastline by strong ocean currents. Here the correct answer will be the movement of sediment along the beach by waves approaching at an angle. Question 59. What is a tidal bore? A high fast moving tide entering a narrow bay or river mouth, a section of coast where tides are unusually low, a deep trench formed by underwater tectonic activity, a sand dune formed by wind action. And the correct answer will be a high fast moving tide entering a narrow bay or river mouth. Question 60. What is the primary cause of a storm surge? Earthquakes under the sea, high tides during a full moon, strong winds and low pressure during storms, longshore drift of a sediment, strong winds and low pressure during the storms. It's called storm surge. Question 61. Which type of coastal landform is typically found in an area with low wave energy and a large supply of sediment? Cliff, speed, headland, stack. The correct answer will be speed. Low energy means deposition. High energy means erosion. And speed is a depositional landform. Question 62. Raised beaches are the result of tectonic uplift or falling sea levels, deposition of sand by longshore drift, wave action in high energy coasts, the formation of speeds by wave action. Here the correct answer will be tectonic uplift or falling sea levels. Question 63. A bar is formed when a spit extends across the mouth of a bay. Waves erode the base of a cliff, causing it to collapse. Sediment is transported offshore by waves. Coral reefs grow near the shoreline. Here the correct answer will be a spit extends across the mouth of a bay. Question 64. What is isostatic adjustment? The movement of sea levels due to melting ice, the sinking or rising of Earth's crust in response to changes in load ice sheets, the movement of tectonic plates causing coastal uplift, the creation of landforms due to volcanic activity. And the correct answer will be the sinking or rising of Earth's crust in response to changes in load, means ice sheets. Question 65. A beach berm is formed by deposition of sediment during calm conditions at the top of a beach, the retreat of cliffs due to wave action, tidal fluctuations removing sand from the beach, wave cutting a platform into a rocky shoreline. Here the correct answer will be deposition of sediment during calm conditions at the top of the beach. Question 66. Which of the following is a characteristics of a destructive wave? Strong swash and weak backwash, low wave height and long wavelength, high wave energy and strong backwash, gentle beach gradient. And the correct answer will be high wave energy and strong backwash. Question 67. What type of coastline is formed when sea levels rise and flood river valleys, creating deep inlets? Discordant coastline, submergent coastline, emergent coastline, erosional coastline. Here the correct answer will be submergent coastlines. Question 68. A fetch is best described as the length of water over which a wind blows and generates waves. The vertical distance between the crest and trough of a wave, the depth of water in a coastal lagoon, the sandbar formed by longshore drift. The correct answer will be the length of water over which a wind blows and generates waves. More the fetch length, more the wave height. Question 69. Which of the following is a soft engineering coastal management strategy? Seawall, drainage, beach, nourishment, breakwaters. The correct answer will be which nourishment. Other three options are hard engineering for coastal management. Question 70. What causes the formation of a sea cave? Hydraulic action, eroding a cliff face deposition of sediment along a low energy coastline, submergence of a river valley due to rising sea levels, sand dune formation by wind. Here the correct answer will be hydraulic action eroding a cliff face. Question 71. Which of the following is a primary feature of a erosional coastline? Lagoon, headland, speed barrier island. Here the correct answer will be headland. Other three options are depositional landform of coastal area. Question 72. A tombolo connects two headlands, a spit to the mainland, a sea stack to the mainland, an island to the mainland. Here the correct answer will be an island to the mainland is called as tombolo. Question 73. What is the main purpose of revetments in coastal management? To absorb and dissipate wave energy, to trap sediment and stop longshore drift, to prevent coastal erosion by creating new beaches, to raise the beach level above sea level. Here the correct answer will be to absorb and dissipate wave energy. It's called as revetments. Question 74. Which of the following is an example of a feature created by longshore drift? Cliff, sea urge, speed wave cut platform. Here the correct answer will be speed. It is a depositional landform. Question 75. What is a sand dune? A ridge of sand formed by wind along the coast, a steep rock formation eroded by waves, a deposit of sediment underwater near a beach, a submerged coral reefs. And the correct answer will be a ridge of sand formed by wind along the coast. Question 76. A barrier island is a large sand dune system near the beach, a narrow island formed parallel to the coastline by wave and tidal action, a spit extending into the sea from the coast, a rock formation eroded by wave action. Here the correct answer will be narrow island formed parallel to the coastline by wave and tidal action. Question 77. Which process causes the retreat of cliffs along the coastline? Deposition, hydraulic action, longshore drift, coastal subsidence. Here the correct answer will be hydraulic action. Question 78. A marine terrace is created by wave erosion followed by uplift or falling sea levels, longshore drift depositing sediment along the coast, along the beach, coral reef development along the coast, coastal flooding due to rising sea levels. Then the correct answer will be wave erosion followed by uplift or falling sea levels. Question 79. Which of the following terms describes a feature formed by deposition in a low energy coastal environment? Sea cliff, speed wave cut, notch, blowhole. Here the correct answer will be speed. Question 80. A wave cut notch is a coastal feature that is formed by the accumulation of sediment at the beach, erosion at the base of a cliff by waves, the collapse of a sea urge, wind deflection on sandy coastlines. So the correct answer will be erosion at the base of a cliff by waves. Question 81. Which of the following structures is typically built perpendicular to the shoreline to prevent beach erosion? Breakwater, groine, sea wall, revetment. Here the correct answer will be groine. Question 82. What is bridge nourishment? The construction of groines to trap sand, the addition of sand to or sediment to an eroding beach, the natural deposition of sand through longshore drift, the formation of new beaches due to falling sea levels. So the correct answer will be the addition of sand or sediment to an eroding beach. Question 83. The continental slope refers to the flat, shallow part of the seabed extending from the shore, the steep drop off from the continental shelf into the deeper water, a submerged ridge of sand parallel to the shore, and underwater volcanic formation. Here the right answer will be the steep drop off from the continental shelf into the deeper water. This is the part of ocean bottom topography. Question 84. Which of the following describes a blowhole? A hole in a sea cliff where compressed air and water are forced upwards by waves. A cave formed by the erosion of a headland, a ridge of sand extending from a spit, a feature created by longshore drift. Here the correct answer will be a hole in a sea cliff where compressed air and water are forced upwards by waves. Question 85. A lagoon is a shallow body of water separated from the sea by a sandbar or coral reef, a deep trench formed by tectonic activity, a raised platform along the coast due to wave erosion, a tidal flat formed by sediment deposition. Here the correct answer will be a shallow body of water separated from the sea by a sandbar or coral reef. Question 86. What is a stack? A tall, isolated rock formation formed by the collapse of a sea arch, a ridge of sand deposited by longshore drift, a sand dune near the coast, a submerged ridge of coral near the shore. Here the correct answer will be tall, isolated rock formation formed by the collapse of a sea arch. Question 87. Which of the following processes leads to the formation of a tombolo? Deposition of sediment by longshore drift connecting an island to the mainland, erosion of a headland creating a narrow landform, uplift of land due to tectonic activity, formation of a coral reef near the shore. Here the correct answer will be deposition of sediment by longshore drift connecting an island to the mainland. Question 88. Managed retreat in coastal management refers to the construction of hard engineering structures to defend the coast, allowing natural processes to occur and moving infrastructure away from the vulnerable areas, using groinage and breakwaters to trap sediment and protect the beach, adding sand to eroding beaches to replenish them. Here the correct answer will be allowing natural processes to occur and moving infrastructure away from the vulnerable areas. Managed retreat. Question 89. Which of the following is a depositional feature formed by river sediment at the mouth of a river? Lagoon, spit, delta, sea arch. Here the correct answer will be delta. Question 90. What type of coastal landform is a fjord? Here the right options are a coastal inlet formed by the submergence of a glaciated valley, a sandbar formed by longshore drift, a coastal plain eroded by wave action, a coral reef formed by along the coast. Here the correct answer will be coastal inlet formed by the submergence of a glaciated valley. Question 91. What type of coastal landform is created when a river valley is flooded by a rise in sea level? Spit, fjord, Ria tombolo. Here the correct answer will be Ria, one type of submergence. Question 92. What is the primary function of a breakwater in coastal management? To prevent cliff erosion, to reduce wave energy and create calm water areas, to trap sand and prevent longshore drift, to prevent flooding by rising sea levels. So the correct answer will be to reduce wave energy and create calm water areas. Question 93. A swash-aligned beach is characterized by sediment moving parallel to the shoreline due to longshore drift, sediment moving perpendicular to the shore due to strong swash and backwash, wave refraction causing sand to accumulate in beach, a tidal range that leads to the formation of mud flats. Here the correct answer will be wave refraction causing sand to accumulate in beach. Question 94. Which coastal feature is formed by wave refraction, focusing energy on a protruding part of the coastline? Spit, lagoon, headland, barrier island. Here the correct answer will be headland. Question 95. A spit is a ridge of sand or shingle that is attached to the land at one end and extends into the sea. A narrow sandy island that runs parallel to the shore, a deep glacially carved inlet, a submerged sandbar formed offshore. Here the correct answer will be a ridge of sand or shingle that is attached to the land at one end and extends into the sea. Question 96. What term describes the erosion of coastal rocks by the repeated action of waves forcing air into the cracks? corrosion, hydraulic action, abrasion, attrition. Here the correct answer will be hydraulic action. Question 97. A barrier island is formed by deposition of sand by wave and tidal action parallel to the shore, erosion of a headland by wave action, the collapse of a sea arch, sediment accumulation due to river deposition. Here the correct answer will be deposition of sand by wave and tidal action parallel to the shore. Question 98. What type of coastal management strategy involves the use of vegetation to stabilize sand dunes and prevent erosion? Hard engineering, managed retreat, beach nourishment, dune regeneration. Here the correct answer will be dune regeneration. Question 99. Which of the following describes phase in the coastal processes? The maximum height of wave reaching the shore, the distance over which wind blows across the water to generate waves, the difference between high tide and low tide, the amount of sand transported by longshore drift. And the correct answer will be the distance over which wind blows across the water to generate waves. Question 100. A salt marsh is commonly found in high energy coastal environments with strong wave action. Shelter low energy coastal environment behind spits or barrier islands, tropical regions near coral reefs, areas of rapid cliff retreat due to hydraulic action. Here the correct answer will be sheltered low energy coastal environments behind spits or barrier islands. The first question, question 101. What is the primary cause of the formation of wave-cut platform? Deposition of sediment during high tide, erosion of a cliff face by waves at the base, deposition of river sediment at the coastline, wind blowing sand inland to form dunes. Here the correct answer will be erosion of a cliff face by waves at the base. Because wave-cut platform is a erosional landform of coastal area. Question number 102. Which of the following is an example of soft engineering in coastal management? Construction of groinage, building seawalls, beach nourishment, creation of breakwaters. Say the correct answer will be beach nourishment. Other options are hard engineering for coastal management. Question 103. The formation of a delta occurs when river sediment is deposited at the mouth of a river as it enters a slower moving body of water. Longshore drift transports sand along the coast. Waves erode a headland into a series of sea arches. Wind action creates sand dunes along the beach. Here the correct answer will be river sediment is deposited at the mouth of a river as it enters a slower moving body of water. It is one reason, but another reason is the river water is fresh water and the coastal or sea water is salty water. When the fresh water and salt water mixing at that point, due to the colloid formation by chemical reaction, the river water's sediments are dropped or deposited and the delta started to form. In this way, delta is growing. Question number 104. Which of the following features is not commonly associated with erosional coastline? Sea stack, wave-cut platform, tombolo, cliff. Here the right answer will be tombolo because other options are erosional features but here not is used. Means tombolo, which is a depositional feature. Question 105. What coastal landform is created by the collapse of the roof of a sea arch? Spit, stack, par, delta. Here the correct answer will be stack. Question 106. What is a tide dominated delta? A delta formed primarily by river deposition. A delta where tidal currents are the main force shaping its structure. A delta formed by wave action transporting sediment. A delta that forms in regions of low tidal range. Here the correct answer will be the delta where tidal currents are the main force shaping its structure. Question 107. The process by which beach material is moved along the coast by wave action is called longshore drift, hydraulic action, swash and backwash, saltation. Here the right answer will be longshore drift. Question 108. Which of the following is a natural defense against coastal erosion, seawall, drainage, mangrove forest, breakwaters? Here every features are man-made, but mangrove forest is natural. So here the right answer will be mangrove forest. Question 109. Neap tides occur when the sun, moon and earth are aligned, the sun and moon are at right angles to each other, there is a storm surge, high pressure builds over the coast. Here the correct answer will be the sun and moon are at right angles to each other. This will called as neap tides. But when the sun, moon and earth are aligned, means in a single line, then the tides occurred named as spring tide. 110. The movement of sand grains in a bouncing motion along the sea floor by wave action is called suspension, traction, saltation, solution. Here the right answer will be saltation, because solution is a chemical process. Saltation is dancing of the or bouncing of the material. Traction and suspension is like a flowing, suspended, and traction is different from saltation. Question 111. Which of the following is a depositional landform? Shear, speed, sea cliff, headland. Then the right answer will be speed. Other features are erosional landform. Question 112. The movement of sediment down to beach in a zigzag pattern due to wave action is called tidal drift, saltation, longshore drift, phase. Here the correct answer will be longshore drift, which creates zigzag pattern of beach sediment. 113. Which of the following is a result of erosion on a coastline? Speed, tombolo, sea arch, barrier island. Here the right answer will be sea arch, which is a erosional landform. Question 114. Which type of coastline is created when rising sea level submerge river valleys? Emergent coastline, discordant coastline, ria coastline, deltaic coastline. Here the correct answer will be ria coastline, where the submergence is occurred. 115. What is a coral atoll? A sand dune system near the coastline, a ring-shaped coral reef surrounding a lagoon, a coastal feature formed by wave action on cliffs, a type of sea stack created by erosion. Here the correct answer will be a ring-shaped coral reef surrounding a lagoon. The example of coral atoll is Lakshadweep Island, which is a ring-shaped coral reef surrounding a lagoon. Question 116. Which of the following describes storm surge? A large rise in sea level caused by a combination of strong winds and low atmospheric pressure, a sudden increase in tidal range during a full moon, a fast-moving wave caused by an underwater earthquake, a rapid fall in sea level caused by coastal erosion. Here the correct answer will be a large rise in sea level caused by a combination of strong winds and low atmospheric pressure. This will be the right answer. And this features happened and when the cyclone occurred in the coastal areas, where the strong winds and low atmospheric pressure are combined to cause this. And when a sudden increase in tidal range during full moon, this is a tide or spring tide, not the storm surge. And at the same time, a fast moving wave caused by an underwater earthquake, this is called tsunami, not storm surge, right? And this is a simple process of coastal erosion. Question 117. A headland is a narrow strip of land extending into the sea, a large sandbar formed by longshore drift, a rock formation that juts out from the coastline, a deep indentation in the coastline caused by erosion. Here the correct answer will be a rock formation that juts out from the coastline. This happens in the wave-dominated coastal area where the erosional process is dominant and wave energy is high than the other parts, and sandbar is related to the depositional processes in the coastal area. Question 118. What is the primary function of gabions in coastal defense? To absorb wave energy and prevent coastal erosion, to increase beach size by trapping sand, to create artificial reefs, to attract marine life, to stop river flooding by diverting water. Here the correct answer will be to absorb wave energy and prevent coastal erosion. This will be the process of gradients or work of gradients. Question 119. Which type of coastal erosion involves waves picking up rocks and smashing them against the shore? Hydraulic action, abrasion, attrition, corrosion. Here the correct answer will be abrasion. With the material, they create the pressure on the coastal area or coastal sands, coastal sediments, etc. 120. A bar in coastal geography is a feature formed by deposition of sediment across the mouth of a bay or estuary, erosion of headlands into the sea, river sediment building up at the mouth of a river, wind transporting sand inland from a beach. Here the correct answer will be deposition of sediment across the mouth of a bay or estuary. On other places, this bar cannot be seen. Question 121. What type of coastal feature is formed when a speed grows across a bay? Right answer will be bar. From Tombolo Lagoon Bar Estuary. Question 122. Which of the following is an example of soft engineering in coastal management? Groinage, breakwaters, beach nourishment, sea walls. Here the correct answer will be beach nourishment. Question 123. What is the difference between spring tides and neap tides? Spring tides occur during storms, while neap tides occurs during calm weather. Spring tides have a higher tidal range, while neap tides have a lower tidal range. Spring tides occur during the winter, while neap tide occurs in the summer. Spring tides are caused by the sun, and the neap tides are caused by the moon. And the correct answer will be spring tides have a higher tidal range, while neap tides have a lower tidal range. Tidal range means the range or difference between the height of high tide and low tide. Question 124. Which of the following is the characteristics of discordant coastline? Different rock types run parallel to the shore. Soft rock erodes faster than hard rock, creating headlands and bays. The coastline has uniform rock composition. The coastline is shaped by longshore drift. Here the correct answer will be soft rock erodes faster than hard rock, creating headlands and bays. Question 125. Which of the following is a natural feature that can protect the coastline from erosion? Coral reefs, seawalls, groinage, breakwaters. So the correct answer will be coral reefs. Question 126. What is the term for the flat, gently sloping area of seabed that extends from the shore to the edge of the continental slope? Continental shelves, abyssal plain, continental ridge, ocean trench. Here the right answer will be continental shelf, which is land to the ocean. First feature. Question 127. A stack is formed by deposition of sediment at the mouth of a river, erosion of a sea arch, leaving behind an isolated rock column, waves eroding a headland, creating a narrow strip of land, longshore drift carrying sediment along the coast. Here the correct answer will be erosion of a sea arch, leaving behind an isolated rock column. Question 128. What is a flat tidal flat? A low-lying area that is regularly covered and uncovered by the tide. A flat area of sand deposited by waves along the beach. A steep, rocky beach formed by wave action. A ridge of sand deposited by longshore drift. Here the correct answer will be a low-lying area that is regularly covered and uncovered by tide. This area basically covered by clay, not sand, right? Question 129. The height of waves is primarily influenced by fetch and wind speed, tidal range and sediment supply, wind direction and beach gradient, the position of the sun and the moon. Here the correct answer will be fetch and wind speed. Fetch is a length of coastal water where the wind is blown. Question 130. Which of the following best describes a sandy spit? A landform created by deposition of sand due to longshore drift. A ridge of rock formed by the collapse of a sea arch, a sandbar submerged under the sea during high tide, a coral reef extending from mainland to an island. Here the right answer will be a landform created by the deposition of sand due to longshore drift. Question 131. Backwash refers to the movement of water back down the beach after a wave breaks. The movement of sediment along the coast by longshore drift, the formation of waves in deep water, the process of erosion caused by wind on sand dunes. Here the correct answer will be the movement of water back down the beach after a wave breaks. This is not the absolute answer. The absolute answer will be after wave breaks also there can be the chance of swash and backwash. Backwash is the movement of water from coastal area to the ocean, to the sea. I'll show in another video what the process actually occurred. Question 132. A groin is a coastal defense structure that extends perpendicularly from the shore to prevent longshore drift, runs parallel to the shore to absorb wave energy, protects cliffs from erosion by waves, stops rivers from flooding the coast. Here the correct answer will be extends perpendicularly from the shore to prevent longshore drift. Question 133. Which of the following is not a depositional landform? Spit, tombolo, sea arch, bar. Here the right answer will be sea arch. Question 134. Wave cut platforms are created by erosion of cliffs by wave action over time, deposition of sand by longshore drift, wind action blowing sand inland to storm dunes, form dunes, coral reef growth near the shore. Here the correct answer will be erosion of cliffs by wave action over time. Question 135. Which of the following is a common feature found at river delta, sea stacks, peat, distributaries, cliffs? Here the right answer will be distributaries. This is not the absolute answer. Question 136. A wave crest refers to the lowest point of a wave, the distance between two consecutive waves, the highest point of a wave, the force of the wave against the shore. Here the correct answer will be the highest point of a wave. Question 137. Which coastal management techniques is based on working with natural processes to reduce erosion? Hard engineering, managed retreat, seawalls, groinage. Here the right answer will be managed retreat. Question 138. Eustatic changes in sea level are caused by tectonic uplift of the land, global changes in the volume of water in the oceans, localized subsidence of the coastline, erosion of headlands and deposition in bays. Here the right answer will be global changes in the volume of water in the oceans. If the tectonic uplift, then it will be called as isostatic, not eustatic. This is the difference between eustatic and isostatic. Isostatic is related to tectonic process and eustatic is not related to tectonic process, is the water in the ocean. Question 139. Which coastal landform is commonly found in areas with high energy waves and strong longshore drift? Spit, sea arch, Barrier Island, lagoon. Here the right answer will be Barrier Island. Strong longshore drift. Longshore drift is parallel to the shore or beach. So Barrier Island can create. Question 140. The swash refers to the forward movement of water up the beach after a wave breaks, the flow of sediment in a river delta, the process of erosion caused by wind on cliffs, the downward movement of water after a wave breaks. The process, the right answer will be the forward movement of water up the beach after a wave breaks. This will be the right answer. But before a wave breaks is not the backwash. Swash, the opposite of swash is called as backwash. Question 141. What is the primary factor influencing the formation of tombolo? Erosion of cliffs, sediment deposition connecting an island to the mainland, tidal action creating lagoon, wind action, forming dunes. Here the right answer will be sediment deposition connecting an island to the mainland. There are several examples of tombolo. Rameswaram Island to mainland India. There is a condition of tombolo. 142. Which type of wave is characterized by a steep, narrow crest and a deep trough? Constructive wave, destructive wave, plunging wave, spilling wave. Here the correct answer will be destructive wave because characterized by steep, narrow crest and deep trough. Question 143. What is the term for a coastal area where freshwater from rivers meets and mixes with salt water from the ocean? Delta estuary, lagoon, ria. Here the right answer will be estuary. Ganga estuary is the example in the India. 144. The term coastal zone refers to the area of land above sea level, the area where land meets the sea including coastal waters, the entire ocean beyond the continental shelf, areas with high tidal ranges. Here the right answer will be the area where land meets the sea including coastal waters. It's called as coastal zone. Question 145. Which of the following is a consequence of rising sea levels? Increased sediment deposition in river deltas, loss of coastal wetlands and habitat, formation of new beaches, enhanced coastal erosion. Here the right answer will be loss of coastal wetlands and habitats. Question 146. Which coastal feature is found by erosion of a headland that leads to the creation of a wave, arch and eventually a stack? Sea cliff, bay, fjord, beach. Here the right answer will be sea cliff. Question 147. Which is the primary role of a seawall? To create a habitat for marine life, to protect the shoreline from the wave erosion, to increase beach area by trapping sand, to improve water quality in coastal areas. Here the right answer will be to protect the shoreline from wave erosion. Question 148. Which type of coastal feature is created by the deposition of sand at the mouth of a river, delta, estuary, ria, lagoon? Here the right answer will be delta. Question 149. The intertidal zone is the area between the low tide mark, the area between high tide and low tide, the area above high tide, the area affected by tidal currents. So the right answer will be the area between high tide and low tide. But the height difference is called as tidal range. Question 150, or the last question of this video, or third video of coastal geography MCQs. Which of the following is not a factor influencing coastal erosion? Wave energy, tidal range, wind direction, atmospheric pressure. Here the right answer will be atmospheric pressure. Question number 151. What does the term littoral drift refer to? The movement of sand along the shoreline, the sediment deposition in coastal waters, the erosion of cliffs due to wave action, the vertical movement of tides. Here the right answer will be the movement of sand along the shoreline. It's called as littoral drift. Question 152. Which landform is typically found in a concordant coastline? Headland, bay, cliff, delta. Here the right answer will be cliff. Question 153. What is primary cause of coastal subsidence? Sediment deposition, tectonic activity and land sinking, erosion of coastal cliffs, changes in wave patterns. So the right answer will be tectonic activity and land sinking. Question 154. Which of the following is an effect of coastal erosion? Formation of new beaches, increased salinity in coastal waters, loss of land and infrastructure, development of coral reefs. Here the correct answer will be loss of land and infrastructure. Question 155. What type of sediment is most commonly found on sandy beaches? Clay, gravel, sand, silt. Here sandy beaches is noted. So sand will be the correct answer. Question 156. Which coastal feature acts as a natural barrier against storms and erosion? Mangrove forests, seawalls, breakwaters, dikes. The right answer will be mangrove forests because it is the only natural feature in the four options. Question 157. The process of sediment being carried away from the coast by wave action is known as erosion, deposition, transportation, and accretion. Here the right answer will be erosion. Question 158. What type of delta forms when river sediment is primarily distributed by tidal action? River dominated delta, wave dominated delta, tide dominated delta, mixed dominated delta. Here the right answer will be tide dominated delta. Question 159. Which term describes the maximum height of waves during a storm? Tidal range, swells, storm surge, phase. Here the right answer will be storm surge. Question 160. Which type of coastline is characterized by alternating bands of hard and soft rock? Concordant coastline, discordant coastline, Ria coastline, delta coastline. Here the right answer will be discordant coastline. Question 161. What is the term for the gradual sinking of land in coastal areas due to various factors including geological processes, erosion, subsidence, accretion, uplift? Here the right answer will be subsidence. Question 162. Which of the following is responsible for the rounding of beach pebbles? Hydraulic action, attrition, corrosion, weathering. Here the right answer will be attrition, because attrition is related to the process of interacting different beach materials like pebbles, cobbles, etc. Question 163. What type of sediment is primarily found in river delta? Sandy sediment, clay and silt, limestone, gravel. Here the right answer will be clay and silt. Question 164. What is the main characteristics of a riffle in a sandy beach? Deep channels formed by tidal action, small waves created by wind, patterns formed by the movement of water and sediment, large boulders deposited by waves. Here the right answer will be patterns formed by the movement of water and sediment. Question 165. The term flood tide refers to the water level during low tide, the rising tide that moves water inland, the receding tide moving away from the shore, the average water level of the ocean. Here the right answer will be the rising tide that moves water inland. It's called flood tide. It is opposite of the ebb tide. Question 166. Which coastal feature is created by deposition of sediment parallel to the shore? Bar, spit, tombolo, lagoon. Here the right answer will be spit. Question 167. Which of the following coastal processes is most affected by human activity? Wave action, tidal currents, longshore drift, beach nourishment. Here the right answer will be beach nourishment, because it is a man-made feature, man-made process. Question 168. What is the term for a low-lying area of land adjacent to a river or coastal region that is subject to flooding? Marsh, estuary, floodplain, bay. Here the right answer will be floodplain. Question 169. What type of beach is characterized by steep slopes and coarse sediment? Reflective beach, dissipated beach, intermediate beach, sheltered beach. Here the right answer will be reflective beach. Question 170. Which of the following coastal features is commonly found in areas of high wave energy? Lagoons, salt marshes, sea stacks, deltas. Here the right answer will be sea stacks, which is an erosional landform, and others are erosional and depositional, mixed and depositional landforms. Question 171. Which human activity is primarily responsible for coastal erosion? Construction of breakwaters, dredging of harbors, urban development along the coastline, agricultural practices near the shore. Here the right answer will be urban development along the coastline. Question was, which human activity is primarily responsible for coastal erosion? It is not the absolute right answer. The right answer may be the dredging of harbors. Urban development along the coastline, it is not the absolute right answer, because the more the urban development and the more the impacts of erosion, not impacts depends on urban development. Question 172. What is the primary goal of coastal management? To create recreational areas for tourism, to protect marine habitats and biodiversity, to promote industrial development along the coast, to prevent land loss and manage resources sustainably. And the right answer will be to prevent land loss and manage resources sustainably. Question 173. The term marine terrace refers to a flat area of land formed by sediment deposition, a step-like landform created by wave action on cliffs, a coastal wetland formed by tidal actions, a ridge of sand created by wind action. Yeah, the right answer will be a step-like landform created by wave action on cliffs. That will be marine terrace, and similar step-like landform in river, that is called as a river terrace. Question 174. Which coastal landform is formed when waves erode a headland and create a curved inlet? Bay, lagoon, ria, fjord. The right answer will be bay. Question 175. Which of the following is a characteristics of a barrier island? It is a type of coral reef. It is a sandy island located parallel to the mainland. It is formed by volcanic activity. It is a rocky outcrop along the coast. Here the right answer will be it is a sandy island located parallel to the mainland. Question 176. Which of the following is a key factor in the formation of tidal patterns? Wind speed, atmospheric pressure, the gravitational pull of the moon and sun, ocean currents. Here the right answer will be the gravitational pull of the moon and sun. Question 177. The process of coastal accretion refers to the build-up of sand and sediment along the shore, the erosion of coastal cliffs by wave action, the removal of sediment from the coastline, the rise in the sea levels affecting coastal areas. Here the right answer will be the build-up of sand and sediment along the shore. Question 178. What is a flat tide delta? A delta formed by sediment deposited during low tide, a delta created by river sediment flowing into the ocean, a delta formed in an estuary by tidal action, a delta formed by wave action on a coastline. The right answer will be a delta formed in an estuary by tidal action. Question 179. Which of the following is not a benefit of mangrove forest? They provide habitat for wildlife, they prevent coastal erosion, they reduce water salinity, they are used for urban development. The right answer will be they are used for urban development. Question 180. What type of coastline is typically characterized by sandy beaches and gentle slopes? Rocky coastline, cliffed coastline, low energy coastline, high energy coastline. Here the right answer will be low energy coastline because here gentle slope is mentioned. Question 181. Which of the following processes can lead to the formation of a lagoon? Erosion of a headland, deposition of sand by waves or currents, submergence of coastal areas, erosion of river banks. The right answer will be deposition of sand by waves and currents. Question 182. Which type of coastal management strategy involves relocating buildings and infrastructure away from vulnerable areas? Hard engineering, soft engineering, managed retreat, beach nourishment. Here the right answer will be managed retreat. Question 183. What is the primary cause of coastal flooding? Storm surges and high tides, erosion of cliffs, deforestation in coastal areas, rising sea levels due to climate change. Here the right answer will be storm surges and high tides. Question 184. What is the main purpose of constructing breakwaters? To create new land, to protect shore from wave energy, to enhance beach tourism, to promote sediment deposition. Here the right answer will be to protect the shore from wave energy. Question 185. Which of the following is an example of hard engineering? Solution for coastal protection, beach nourishment, mangrove restoration, sea walls, wetland creation. Here the right answer will be sea walls. Question 186. Which coastal feature is typically found at the confluence of a river and the ocean? Delta, estuary, fjord and cove. Here the right answer will be estuary. Question 187. What is the role of coastal wetlands in the ecosystem? They are areas for industrial development. They provide habitat and act as natural filters for water. They are prone to erosion. They increase salinity in nearby waters. Yeah, the right answer will be they provide habitat and act as natural filters for water. Question 188. What type of wave is characterized by a gentle rolling motion? Plunging wave, destructive wave, constructive wave, spilling wave. And the right answer will be spilling wave because here rolling motion is mentioned. Question 189. Which of the following is an example of natural coastal protection method? Building seawalls, planting vegetation along the shoreline, installing drainage, constructing breakwaters. Here the right answer will be planting vegetation along the shoreline. Question 190. What is a significant environmental issue affecting coastal areas worldwide? Increased biodiversity, coral reef restoration, coastal pollution and habitat loss, stable sea levels. Here the right answer will be coastal pollution and habitat loss. Question 191. Which of the following factors contributes to the formation of a phase? The distance over which wind blows across open water, the angle of wave approach to the shore, the salinity of ocean water, the topography of the coastline. Here the right answer will be the distance over which wind blows across open water. It is called as phase length. Phase is a length. Question 192. The term upwelling refers to the movement of sediment from the shore to the ocean, the process where deep cold water rises to the surface, the increase in tidal range during full moons, the erosion of underwater landforms. The right answer will be the process where deep cold water rises to the surface. Question 193. Which type of coast is most susceptible to erosion? Rocky coast, sandy coast, cliffed coast, low energy coast. Here the right answer will be cliffed coast, because cliff created due to high energy, and highest the energy, highest the susceptibility to erosion. Question 194. What is the function of soft engineering coastal management? To build rigid structures for protection, to use natural processes for coastal protection, to create artificial landforms, to increase wave energy along the coast. Here the right answer will be to use natural processes for coastal protection. What type of coastal feature is a fjord? A narrow inlet formed by glacial erosion, a large river delta, a sandy beach, a coral reef. Here the right answer will be a narrow inlet formed by glacial erosion. Means when the glacial valley is submerged in the coastal area, that is called as fjord. Question 196. What does the term ocean acidification refers to? The warming of the ocean waters, the increase in ocean salinity, the decrease in pH levels of ocean water, the increase in marine biodiversity. Here the right answer will be the decrease in pH levels of ocean water. It's called as ocean acidification, which can harm coral reefs. Question 197. Which of the following is a key indicator of coastal health? The number of tourist attractions, the presence of diverse marine life, the size of coastal cities, the amount of beach litter. Here the right answer will be the presence of diverse marine life. Question 198. Which coastal feature is primarily formed by wave action eroding soft rock? Sea stack, barrier island, beach, cliff. Here the right answer will be cliff. Question 199. Which of the following activities can lead to habitat loss in coastal areas? Restoration of mangroves, sustainable fishing practices, urban development and construction, conservation of wetlands. Here the right answer will be urban development and construction. Question number 200. The last question of this coastal geography MCQ series. What is the purpose of constructing a jetty? To create an artificial island, to protect a harbor entrance from sedimentation, to enhance beach tourism, to provide a habitat for marine species. So the right answer will be to protect a harbor entrance from sedimentation. That's all about the 200 MCQ questions of coastal geography. Thanks for watching till the end. Thanks so much.